that went. They'll be looking for a good start here against a Leeds side that has lost only once this season. It's Saints on the attack now. Just short of that line, St Helens now. Good run from Dave Fass. Dootson. Hazelden now. Hazelden to John Sims. Sims tackled by Donkin and Gornall. Right in front of those posts now. Fass and Morton went for that ball.
A knock on against St Helens. Not the best kick from Dootson. Couldn't get it through that line, in between two players on the Leeds side. Eventually a knock on and Leeds come up with relieving possession.
That was a good start from Saints.
Just goes to show you though how important the kicking game is now. Defences, even at this level, are pretty strong. You must be able to somehow cause problems and kick it through into the in-goal area, either for a repeated set of possession or hopefully even a try for your team.
Andy Kirk cutting infield. It's good defence so far from Saints, because that was the 5th tackle. Burrow puts the kick into space, straight into the arms of Martin Stubbs, the winger. Stubbs, though, driven back in the tackle. That was good work from Danny Cook. Burrow was there as well. And Saints just inside their own 40, and already John Myler on the hotline, the Saints coach, getting signals down to the bench. Leon Wild takes that ball up. Sims again. Good start from St Helens. Mick Cook, the academy coach, also head of youth development at Headingley now. Mick. Dean Bell having moved on to Wigan. Mick Cook has taken over that position. Dootson puts the kick in. Oh, Calderwood's under a little bit of pressure there and managed to just change direction and get a hold of that.
Well, that was just mentioned, haven't we, how important the kicks are. Look at that, it's a fantastic kick, puts a little bit of backspin on the ball. It sits up in the danger zone. Luckily for Leeds, they come up with possession, but the possession they've had so far in this game has just been clearing their own line.
Dwayne Barker doing just that for the Leeds Rhinos. Sean, here's Gornall, who's captaining the Leeds side today. Aaron Gornall. Shaw with the kick. Oh, straight out on the full. He was under a little bit of pressure as he put that kick in. Good pressure from Saints.
It's very difficult for a right-footed player to come out of the left from acting half-back and kick it and keep the ball in field. So then the angle's just too hard to do it.
Martin Shaw in the hooking role. We've seen him scrum half position as well, haven't we, Phil?
Yes, there is. That's the interesting thing. They've got scrum half and hooker who both used to play in scrum half, and they've got a loose forward and standoff who've played a lot in the standoff role, so they've sort of got 4 halfbacks on the field.
Saints have got one hooker. It's Dave Fass, and that's a good run from Fass. Takes his side inside that Leeds 20. Dootson now shifts that ball out wide. Hazelden did well to take it, but Saints living dangerously and losing territory. Morton, and all the way back to the halfway line, having started off inside that Leeds 20. They now find themselves on the 5th tackle, right back on the halfway line. Sims picks up and goes, and that'll be the turnover.
Bad mistake for St Helens. John Sims not aware that it was the last tackle. I'm sure they would like to kick deep again.
And Sims has got a cut on his face, just below on the nose. And it's a blood bin. Matty Farrell comes on. Leeds just inside their own half. Here's Donkin. But that's a strong run met with strength by St Helens. And here's another West Hull lad, Jason Netherton. Like Glenn Donkin, spotted playing in Hull. Kirk juggling that one. Maguire just inside the Saints 40. First time I think Leeds have ventured that deep into Saints territory, and they're going deeper now with Donkin on the charge. That's the 5th tackle. Morton. They're running this one. They're going to struggle to keep it alive. And they have struggled. Picked up by Ian Hazelden, the 17-year-old former St Helens Crusader.
Good play to run in on the last though, and they knew they had to keep it alive. Saints come up with possession, but it will present St Helens with that question next time. Does the winger drop back, expecting the kick, or do they sit up and just in the anticipation of them running it? Can put doubt in the defensive team's mind.
Leeds lying 3rd in the academy table at the moment. As I said, they'd had that 1 defeat, losing their prized home record to the Bradford Bulls, and 1 draw also at home against Wigan. What a scalp it would be for Saints if they could knock the mighty Rhinos off, but they're not going to with kicks like that. Straight into the arms of Danny Cook, and Cook away from one. Eventually he's nailed by Martin Proudfoot. Here's Kirk now. Calderwood, a rare thing in Super League, certainly a rarity in the Academy Championship. Mark Calderwood, he's a Cockney, London-born. Gareth Morton, Scottish-born, making the break. Great ball off to Maguire, and the first try goes Leeds Rhinos' way, and it's scored by Danny Maguire.
Sheer class here, really. The reason why Leeds have done so well over the last couple of years. Gone all it is initially, who makes that break, supported by his loose forward Morton. And then look at that for quality pass. And the right-hand take from Maguire was real top-level stuff. Fantastic skills here. They penetrated right up the middle of the guts of the St Helens side, and good support players really is what made this try possible. The handling skills there from Maguire, something really to applaud.
Pretty straightforward conversion attempt for Robert Burrow. Has the opportunity to add 2 more points and does so emphatically, and leads ahead by 6 points to 0. Dootson with the restart, teasing one, but Calderwood it is who picks it up, and he's lost that ball. It's immediately been snapped up by Chris Hilditch. This is a great chance for St Helens to immediately respond to that Leeds try. On the charge with Leon Wild, new recruit to this Saints side. Wild only joined in May. Hazelden now. Hazelden thought he'd spotted the gap. Maguire was in there with what looked like a high tackle. Here's Dootson now. Dootson will go by himself. Can he get that down? I reckon he has done. Looks good to me, and Grant Maxwell agrees, and that's the perfect response from St Helens, and Chris Dootson with the score.
Well, this shows the value of kicking off to a player who's not expecting to receive it. So often we just see it punted down in the usual space. It's a good kick from Dootson into the corner, and the defence forced the ball out from Calderwood. Really so close to the line, just a couple of play the balls later. Dummy decoy run, and Dootson it is again who able to get outside his man with a bit of space from that distance. He's just going to score as he fends off Aaron Gornall, crash over near the line. I mean, Chris Dootson deserves this for his kick-off, because it was an excellent, hard, low, fast kick into the corner, which forced the error.
And Chris Dootson from the touchline to convert his own try, and he's done just that. Great kick from Dootson. And there's a certain justice in that. Dootson's kick that led to it all, and it's Saints 6, Leeds 6. So that was a bit of a rude awakening for Leeds, having scored so comfortably. Just a bit of carelessness, and they were punished for it. So it's level pegging again.
Done well there to twist over and find his front. Can he get up and play it quickly? That's what Leon Wild needs to work on.
Saints looking for another good set of 6 then. It's with fullback Liam Williams, and Williams lost that ball in the tackle. It's a big tackle from Kirk, and Williams has stayed down.
It was a very ambitious pass, trying to get it around the back of his man. And he hit him front on, didn't he, Kirk? Puts him in a little trouble. See there, trying to get it around the corner to his man in support.
Tommy Gallagher on the charge for Leeds now. They have possession midway inside this St Helens half. And it's the big men taking the ball up at the moment for Leeds. Donkin. Now it's with Morton. Cook was in support. Well spotted by Saints. Gornall now. Just a couple of metres away from that line now. Aaron Gornall. Shaw. Maguire. Burrow. Back to Netherton. And Netherton runs into some pretty solid defence there. On the last now. Little chip kick from Maguire. The chasers are there. And I think Cook was the player who got there first. Danny Cook, the fullback, alert to that little kick through. Great little grubber kick from Maguire.
St Helens had a chance to do this earlier in the game, but weren't able to just stab it through into the in-goal area. That's a really skillful kick, just to kick it so that it doesn't go too far, just sits up after a few metres, bounces up, sits up kindly for Cook to fall through on. And really got to compliment the enthusiasm of the chase. They got themselves in. There were two Leeds players could have scored.
Robert Burrow takes a good look at this one. Just to the right of the post, he's kicked that one, and Leeds back in front by 12 points to 6. And now the other side of the Leeds Academy team, Richard Moore. Burrow to Moore, what a contrast that is.
Well, he played in their second team earlier in the week. And they brought him off the bench to have an impact. Morton now, great pass to Bailey.
Saints just managing to stop his progress, but Leeds looking threatening. Morton with the try, and it was very threatening. Good momentum built up there, quick play the ball, and Morton was through.
Quick play the ball from Moore, it was that set it all up. Then a good pass. This here he ran back on the angle, just steps up the defence. 4 St Helens players involved in that tackle. The quick play the ball enables Shaw to just to dart out of acting half-back. He draws in one man, and Morton cleverly runs into a hole that's created. Very good play. Very good play from the Leeds side here. They're struggling to just live with Leeds at the moment, I think, St Helens. They're hanging on for dear life. But if they can control possession, Leeds, they can really rip through this St Helens side.
Robert Burrow has 2 from 2 so far, but these kicks are getting progressively more difficult for him. That one a bit further out, but again, he's on the mark. 3 from 3, and Leeds ahead by 18 points to 6. Ryan Bailey fields that restart and makes progress up to the Leeds 20-metre line, just over that Leeds 20. Now here is Mark Calderwood. He's looking for that space, and Matty Farrell clings onto him and halts his progress at the 40. 2 tackles, and they've made 40 metres already. And then Glenn Donkin takes them just shy of the halfway line, and Richard Moore, and this really is speed and power from Leeds, Phil.
It is. I mean, the size of Richard Moore just bursting through out wide against this St Helens defence. Now they're going to swing it back to the right-hand side. Wasn't the best passing involved there, really. Not as crisp and in front of the man as I'm sure Leeds players would want.
Just lost a bit of momentum there, and then Burrow out wide to Calderwood. Calderwood steps back in field. The ball's still alive, and it's back to 6, I think. Maxwell signalling, Grant Maxwell signalling it is back to 6. Probably won't need all 6. I think Ryan Bailey's got over there. The substitutes scores for Leeds, and that was ominous for St Helens. Leeds trundling up the pitch.
Well, they just can't get their hands on possession at the moment, St Helens, and Leeds are growing in strength, and with the likes of Moore coming on. That was the 6 to go. Pass from Calderwood inside to Kirk. Kirk's a very strong player. I mean, they're very strong across the park, Leeds. a lot of players who can hurt you. And Shaw again, out of action half-back, just drew the marker towards him and then offloaded onto Bailey, who runs back on the angle against the slide of the defence for another Leeds try.
Robert Burrows enjoying a profitable afternoon with the boots. There's another 2 points for him. And Leeds, with about 7 minutes to go to half-time, ahead by 24 points to 6.
And over to the try for round number 7, Robert Burrow.
Chris Dootson restarts, straight into touch, and things going from bad to worse for St Helens.
He was probably trying to put the ball in fine touch because he knows the team need possession. Kick just a little too risky. Somewhere they've got to hang on here for 6 tackles, because if Leeds score again, well, the floodgates may open.
Well, Leeds third in the table, trailing Wigan and Wakefield at the top. And of course, top 5 system operating in the Academy Championship. Very important. Just a point behind Wakefield at the moment, Leeds. Well, they were going into the latest round of the Academy Championship. Morton, Gornall, Moore, thundering onto that ball. They won't stop Richard Moore. Well worked try from Leeds, that was. And it does look as though the floodgates are opening.
Well, the last 3 sets of possession have all been with Leeds, and they've scored in all of those 3 sets. Here, they work the ball wide. Good ball back inside to Gornall, and more times he's run to perfection. I mean, it's a pretty simple move, but they execute it so well, at speed, with power. And that's what's the difference between the two sides. You can see there in back play, Moore knows the angle and the line to run, does it, and despite a brave effort from Liam Williams, goes over for yet another Leeds try.
Well, this is Robert Burrows' first conversion attempt from left-hand side of the post as he looks at it. So let's see if he's as good from this side. Immaculate so far, and just maintaining that one. Touch and go. But Robert Burrow maintains his 100% record with the kicks, and Leeds lead by 30 points to 6. And now the fullback, Liam Williams. Haven't seen an awful lot of Williams' pace, but he is quick. But he hasn't really had an opportunity with his side under the cosh. Hazelden did well to pick that one off his toes and then feed Proudfoot. Here's Hazelden, back on the inside to Dave Sexton. Sims trying to go on his own.
Just needed an inside support player there, just to hold the defence off him.
Just short of that line. On the last, little chip kick from Farrell. And no nonsense from Glenn Donkin, thumping that one dead.
That's good play, isn't it? Again, this is the 18 tackles now. Perhaps they can attack the Leeds line for. They'll be prevented from doing so with a half-time hooter. Another very, very long goal line dropout.
It's Gareth Morton bombarding that St Helens half.
And a good chase from Calderwood there. He sprinted up 50 metres up to the halfway line, chasing that kick.
Greenhalgh trundling up the middle of the park. Eventually Cook and Calderwood stop his run. Leeds have just gone off the boil a bit. Boil being the operative word, because it's sweltering out there, and Sims is going to cross for a try. What a great way to end the first half for St Helens. Might be on the end of a thumping on the scoreboard, but rousing closing few minutes to the first 40 minutes for Saints, and Sims gets the try.
Well, it was a 15th tackle if you look at it that way, and on the 15th tackle the Leeds defensive line couldn't hold them any longer. Good footwork from Sims, the inside pass. I thought he might have needed a support runner just to help him, but he didn't. He went hard for the line.
Chris Dootson feeling the heat, but This will be a freshener for St Helens. 2 points to end the first 40 minutes. And Dootson mops his brow. It's been hot work for Saints, withstanding this Leeds barrage, epitomised by big Rich and Moore. And Leeds... So Saints underway, and maybe a bit of a spring in their step, even though the scoreboard doesn't flatter them. They ended the first half on a positive note, but Leeds looking pretty positive as they start the second 40.
I was going to say what a good kick-off it was, but the return negated any benefit from that. Forward pass though, and St Helens should come up with possession. In fact, he's penalised them for a shepherd rather. Kirk going behind the man, so Dootson kicks to touch, and Saints straight on the attack.
Well, if they could get another few points back right at the start of the second half, it might yet make this into an interesting contest, but they certainly need to put some pressure on this Leeds defence. Get the feeling that Leeds maybe just took their foot off the gas towards the end of that first half, trying to conserve energy in the sweltering conditions.
Well, don't forget St Helens had received 2 goal line dropouts from the Leeds side, so they did have another vast possession in the last 5 minutes of that half. It's all really about controlling possession too. Farrell now runs up, needs a bit of support, gets through one.
Oh, Matty Farrell's still going. This could be just what St Helens wanted, but I think he's held up on his back.
Oh, what a shame. That was a superb run, wasn't it, from Matthew Farrell? He beat the first man. I thought if he just had a support player alongside him, he could have tipped it on. There was nobody with him, so he went on his own, and Cook does very well to twist him over onto his back. What a shame, but great defence.
Well, that'll give St Helens a lift. Burrow. Maguire will stab the kick in, but that should be okay for his opposite number, Chris Dootson. He was alive to that one.
I think he'd be disappointed with himself, Maguire, there with that kick. Not one of the best he's done. Good run here now. Chris Hill.
Oh, he's flipped that ball back in field, and I think it's gone forward. Referee waves play on. He'll take the first knock on, I should imagine.
Seems to be indicating it's a Leeds knock on. A good run. Look at the defence there from Saints, forcing him out, flicks it back inside, and it was a forward pass. He's taken that forward pass and that mistake. Even though Cook knocks on, St Helens, Leeds will get possession rather from this scrum.
Burrow, Maguire, Stanley. Maguire back on the inside to Morton. Morton's lost that one. And it was Proudfoot who came up with it, but it'll be the knock-on, I think.
Trying to create some second phase possession, wouldn't he, for his forwards. There were a few stacked inside him. It's a good effort from St Helens.
Saints in possession. Chris Hill, nowhere for him to go on his own 40-metre line. Sims worked hard for his side and does well to offload that one to Matthew Farrell, and Matty Farrell looking to take on the Leeds defence again. Greenhalgh, not the most elegant of players, but pretty effective.
Well, if you looked at him, you'd say, oh, he needs to work on his mobility, but he gets her in the field okay.
Farrell again finding space. Tackle just on the Leeds 10. And Saints on a roll once more. Can they make it pay this time? Dootson ships the ball wide to Hill. He's knocked that one on. And Chris Hill disappointed with that. The ball did dip by his toes.
It was a very tough ball to catch. A lot of mistakes in both teams today. I think you can put that down to the heat.
Kirk, the first run for Leeds in this set of 6. That's John Liddell who's come on in place of Gareth Morton. Here's Liddell once more. And just over the halfway line. And Liddell putting a bit of a spring in the lead step. Moore gets past one, plays that ball quickly. I'm not sure. Well, Martin Proudfoot's just curious about whether Richard Moore played that ball correctly, but in fact the penalty goes...
Well, I'm glad you were explaining that, Bill, not me.
And it was Saints who were penalised.
And he penalised them 10 metres from the play the ball as if they were offside, but it indicated a kicking action anyway.
Well, Gornall's just gone through, and yeah, he's going to make that tell. Aaron Gornall with the try. Former Castleford Panthers player Aaron Gornall. And Saints just a little bit disorganised at that penalty, and Aaron Gornall made them pay.
Well, they've managed to hold out for 10 minutes in this second half, but they couldn't hold any longer. When Gornall ran at the line, just looked very tired defence, doesn't it? And it's a worrying thing so early in this second half. Splits through two defenders, goes around the full-back for a good individual try. They swing it wide. Look how many Saints players have got there, lined up on the far side of the field, expecting a forward surge. But the attack under the goalposts, and that's the first try in the second half.
Robert Burrow has a 100% record in this game. 5 from 5, 6 from 6 now for Burrow. And it's helped Leeds into this current lead, 36 points to 12. Netherton on the charge.
Very quick second row. We've seen him play in the centre position, I think, for Leeds side before. Shows what they build their team really. Centres and second rows almost interchangeable in the Leeds side.
Moore swats one aside, and Hazelden comes back for Moore, and he does well because Moore forced into the error.
Tell you what, Dave Sexton deserves a big compliment. He's been very involved in defence since he came on. Even the size of Richard Moore didn't frighten him. He got stuck into him. Somehow he managed to come up with possession for his teammates. That deserves a very big round of applause.
And there he is now, Dave Sexton, taking the ball up for his side. Just inside that Leeds 40, and then Proudfoot hits the ball at pace, but the Leeds defence hits Proudfoot at some pace as well. It was Jason Netherton with the tackle. Sims is coming back on the inside, ducks under that, and John Sims has only got Danny Cook to beat, trying to use his strength. Great offload, great try from Martin Proudfoot. What a good try that was from Saints.
Again, Dave Sexton's involved as a decoy runner. Back inside for John Sims. He ducks under one tackle. Cook does well to hold him up, but good skills and good awareness to twist in the tackle. Excellent play, really, and he supports it. Look about the ball inside, just gets himself between two defenders. Bit of footwork, can't get around Danny Cook, but with that twist and excellent offload to Proudfoot to score. One of the things that hot days tend to give are a lot of mistakes, but also a lot of tries. And the first try for St Helens in this second half goes to Martin Proudfoot.
Chris Dootson then. 2 more precious points for his side, just little dink shot. And it's St Helens 18, Leeds 36. It's Greenhalgh who rumbles that one just to within a couple of metres of that line. Moore was out of his blocks quickly then for Leeds. Has that left a gap? Well, not one that Saints can exploit. Proudfoot is tackled. Dootson back to Sims. Sims has one try already. Fancies another one, does John Sims, and he's got it. Great work from the Saints loose forward. And they're not giving this one up yet.
Well, in these conditions, Bill, it's so hard to defend, and even harder when you're close to your line. John Sims, look at that, good step again, and then goes hard and low. Martin Short seems to catch a bit of a knock. Switch of direction from Dootson, and then it's just good evasion, isn't it? He gets the line, he goes hard and low, and that way you can't be stopped. Goes past the first and the second man, and then he decides, right, I'm going for the line, put myself low, squeeze under the tackle.
So Chris Dootson right in front of the posts, right between the uprights, and St Helens certainly having the better of this second half. It's now Saints 24, Leeds 36.
Chris Dootson.
Hazelden tried his best, but it was a devilish restart from Maguire. Should he have left that one?
Well, maybe he should have been stuck closer to the touchline. That way he could have run in for possession rather than trying to run back and knock it back into play.
So immediately Leeds have the chance to put Saints in their place, and they're going to try and do that now with Robert Burrow. Burrow, has he got over that line? Well, he's certainly got over the line, but has he got the ball down? He's held up.
Seems amazing, wasn't it? But Sims and Williams, I think. In fact, it's Dave Sexton
It's
again.
your man Sexton. So Robert Burrow denied, but Leeds will get another chance here now, and surely they can make this tell. It's been a big effort in the second half from St Helens, which has seen them come back into the game, but it must be taking its toll. But Dootson with good defence there. And now Craig Stanley.
Watch for Richard Moore back inside.
Absolutely. That was Richard Moore back inside. And simple but effective. 2 tries for Richard Moore, and Leeds just giving Saints a reminder of where the power lies in this game.
Well, I'm not sure if Saints knew exactly what was happening, because they've done it so many times this season. Even if you do know, it's pretty hard to stop him. Maybe the goalpost was about the only thing that would have stopped him from that distance. He managed just to step to the left-hand side of it. Dave Fass would have been all on really to get underneath the ball. That's perhaps the best hope there. Jump on, hit the ball and stay under it as he lands on top of you. That'd be painful, but it could prevent a try.
Robert Burrow to maintain his 100% kicking record this afternoon. Does that, and it's St Helens 24, Leeds 42. What a good fizzing restart from Chris Dootson, and Jason Netherton did get a hand to that. I thought it had come off his knee, but Grant Maxwell.
Well, he looked at the touch judge, who's right in the corner of your screen there, about 40 metres away. It's him who decided. It's probably a good call. Very difficult to tell even on action replay from there. Just came off the right hand, but good kickoffs.
They are, aren't they?
Talk about the quality kickoffs. On 2 occasions now, that's given Saints possession.
And it's with Martin Proudfoot. Good strong defence from Glenn Donkin that time. And big Leon Wild is back on the pitch. Hazelden hung on to that ball. Dave Sexton. Tackled by Donkin. Off goes Sims again. It's been a real thorn in the Rhinos' hide in this second half, as John Simswell towards the end of the first half. That one went backwards. It's picked up by Proudfoot. Back where they started just a few seconds ago. That's the 5th tackle. They're running it, and they could be in for the points if Martin Stubbs has got that ball down. Stubbs reckons he has, the referee reckons he has. And it's a plucky St Helens performance. Leeds keep hitting them. and they keep bouncing back up again.
When they get close to the line, they're pretty creative. More it is who stepped. He got off the try line quickly, as you're supposed to do. Didn't really look where Proudfoot was going to go, where Stubb was going to go. Came back inside him. All comes about from the kickoff, wasn't it? Forced the knock on from Leeds. Saints come up with possession. A few tackles later, close to the line, Stubbs crashes over.
Chris Dootson from wide out, to drift this one in. Oh, unlucky Dootson, he's hit the upright. And it's St Helens 28, Leeds 42. But with about 5 minutes to go, Leeds pretty comfortably in command, although they haven't been in command of this second half. Certainly has been a gutsy performance from St Helens. Hughes with the run. Leon Wild steaming onto the ball. Just inside that 40, and Saints would love to end the game with another try. Sims would love to end it with a hat-trick try. He's got 2 already, but it's with Sean Conway. Big tackle on Conway. He didn't like that.
Step back inside Kirk, didn't it? Kirk wanted him to go on the outside. He'd step back, threw the left arm up and round the shoulder. And that's a penalty to St Helens. His footwork's poor really to execute that tackle. He's too far from the man. He's always going to get penalised.
So still time for Saints to end this game on a high. Leeds really did all the hard work in the first half, and I think maybe has that been behind this second half performance. Just dropped off slightly the pace, but certainly no shortage of pace from St Helens. Conway just short of that line. Hill looking to use his strength, but met in kind by 3 Leeds players. Hazelden. Conway loops the ball over the top. Dootson puts the kick in, but I don't think any of his teammates were on the same wavelength there. Dwayne Barker picks that one up.
The ball was a bit too slow, wasn't it, getting out to Dootson? It needed 2 better passes. It's amazing how some guys, the passing from left to right isn't as quick or as accurate as the passing from right to left.
Netherton steaming onto that one, and it looked forward, that one did. And in fact that's Grant Maxwell's view of it as well. Shaw just misdirecting that one.
Well, I don't think he did. I think that was a good pass, and in this country, if anything, we don't hit the advantage line as well as the Australians. We never will, why referees pull up passes like that.
But it's Saints who have possession from the scrum, and it's an opportunity for them, and that's another forward pass.
That's me saying that. It's an Australian referee. Maybe it's a conspiracy. They never want us to hit the advantage line in those test matches. It's true, Bill. Number of times Morley's pulled back in this country where he was playing in an Australian competition. They'd say that was a well-timed run.
Netherton ducks under the challenge into the last few seconds of this competition. And credit to these 2 young sides, because it's hardly the sort of conditions that you want to be playing in. Oh, great save. I'm not sure he knew a lot about that, Chris Hill. But he hung on to it, got his priorities right, didn't he?
It seems to have hit him in the face. I don't know if he caught it after that. Wow, fell back into his arms.
Leon Wild with the run. And the ball out wide. And that was another forward pass. Well, Grant Maxwell obviously deciding that he hasn't had any calls for forward passes, so
maybe that was though. It's the left to right pass. Players can't do it as well. Most people are right-handed and can't pass it that way.
Yeah, but it's right in front of the touch judge. There's not a hint from the touch judge that was forward.
Yeah, the touch, he pulls up the flag.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did, Bill.
I stand corrected. So he's on the conspiracy theory as well then, is he?
Sent him off. Sent Hazelden to the sin bin, at the very least, if not from the field of play.
I think that was something said, a different interpretation of yours, possibly. So, Saints down to 12 just for the closing few moments of this game. Ian Hazelden looks a bit bewildered. And it's with Glenn Donkin. Robert Burrow. Kirk. Calderwood. Saints defending their line valiantly right to the end, but Leeds looking threatening. Kirk trying to dart over himself. He's just short of that line. That's the 5th tackle. Burrow. Shaw. Donkin. And the big man steams onto that one, and a simple try. And we said at the outset that probably Saints didn't have the strength to cope with this big physical Leeds Academy side, and there's further evidence of it.
Have some tired defence here. 2 good passes, gives them some width, and the ball back inside to Donkin. And rather maybe just fatigue on the face of the St Helens players, shown with that attempted tackle from Dootson, and it's unable to stop Donkin scoring yet again. Look at that, 1 quick pass, 2, and then short as well, shows it back inside, draws in the defender, creates another easy try.
Burrow successful with the conversion again, and bringing to an end this academy game, which Leeds have won by 48 points to 28.
There's confirmation of that scoreline. St Helens 28, Leeds 48 for Saints. Tries from Dootson, Sims with 2, Proudfoot and Stubbs. Dootson kicked 4 goals. For Leeds, tries from Maguire, Cook, Morton, Bailey, Moore with 2, Gornall and Donkin. Robert Burrow kicked 8 from 8. All the scores now from the latest round of the academy: Castleford 38, Bradford 30, Halifax 35, Wigan 26. First defeat of the season for the Warriors. What a scalp for the Blue Sox. Huddersfield Sheffield 24, Hull 50, Salford 32, London 14, St Helens 28, Leeds 48, Warrington 48, Wakefield 18. Wigan still top of the table despite that defeat. Leeds now in second, then come Wakefield, Warrington and Bradford making up the top 5. That's all from the academy, but there's some great action to look forward to on Sky.